7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hola, hola, ¿cómo están? Soy la super comadre Claudia de radiocristalUSA.com y aquí estoy. ¿Saben qué? Estoy en un lugar nuevo. Now, I know you guys are used to me being at home, and before I was at home, we were in the studio, but because of pandemic and COVID and all that jazz, we had to shut it down and we took it home. But now we're venturing out. So this is our second time coming out and leaving my home studio and going on location. So I'm super excited to do that here today, straight out of this amazing location. And I'll tell you more about it in a little while. But I always like to start off with, ¿Qué pasa con la super comadre Claudia? So, you know, school's back in session, and that's something that we all need. All kids need to be with other kids, learning and moving forward with their goals. And that's what our children have needed. And I know we had to shut down and stay home because of COVID. And I know we needed to take care of each other so that we can come back and do the things that we need to do business-wise, family-wise, financial-wise, you know, continue with our goals and our dreams. And so happy back to school, but making sure that you hear from me, because I am an educator, I am in the schools, and I do work with students, is that the number one thing is that we want to make sure is that we are safe, we are doing what we can to be safe, because we want our kids to continue to thrive in the school setting. So when I share with you my experience of having had COVID, when I share with you about my experience of getting the vaccine and vaccinating my kids, and doing what I can to wear my mask with the students at school, it's because I want for businesses to keep open. I want for people to go out and have a good time and be with their friends and their family. This should not be a partisan thing. It should not be a red versus blue, a political game of who gets and who doesn't get. It should be that we all come together to support each other, to help each other, to be safe, to be healthy, and to move forward. And we want our kids to be in school, but we want to make sure that they're there safely. And we want our teachers to be there and happy and excited about teaching, and not be fearful of potentially, you know, getting sick. And so that's why I will always share my experience with COVID-19, because a lot of times you may see me, you know, bouncing around, being the person that I am. But, you know, I also, you know, shared and was transparent that not only did it knock me down, you know, physically, but it affected me financially. It affected my students. I wasn't able to teach them for at least 3 months. And so they lost, and we don't want kids to lose anymore. So do what you can to take care of yourself. I get it. Maybe you don't want to take the vaccine. Maybe you're scared. Do your research and ask questions. I'm not telling you to do something without thinking about it. Do your research and take care of you. And if you feel that the vaccine's not for you, then do what you can to protect others and yourself. Because the last thing you need is to be financially hit, or, you know, disabled, or, you know, or hit in any other way that's going to affect your friends, affect your family, affect your livelihood. So one quote that kept coming back to me today as I was walking around the school and working with kids was the quote of, "To whom much is given, much is expected." So I am here to give as much as I can, and my hopes and dreams is that whoever it is whose life I touch, or whose life touched me, that we continue sharing that with the young people, with the people that are coming behind us. So I always tell my students, and I always would tell my teachers who I would train, that once you make it, your job is to turn around and see who else needs, you know, a hand. And sometimes we can help, and sometimes we can't. Maybe it's just listening, maybe it's just guidance. So welcome to la Super Comadre Claudia show. A ver, Super Comadre Liliana, ¿cómo estás y dónde estás?
Ya, comadre, aquí en el estudio de radiocristalUSA.com, aquí atrás de los controles, para que todo salga bien.
Súper padre.
¿Cómo estás tú? ¿No te oí?
¿Qué hay de nuevo contigo?
¿Qué hay de nuevo conmigo? Que ya comencé a dar clases, ya ayer fue el primer día, entonces conocí a mis nuevos alumnos y este año me toca dar clases de educación física, entonces vamos a andar corriendo y haciendo mucho ejercicio.
Qué bien, qué bien. Ahora, platícame un poco. Can you tell me a little bit about, what are some of the safety precautions that are being taken in your new position inside the schools? What are you seeing?
Sí, bueno, todas las maestras con sus tapabocas, en todos lados hay antibacterial, everywhere you'll see gel, and you see at every door, probably every door has it.
Uh-huh.
So every time you pass by or going to enter some a different place, you have to pump it and just clean up, sanitize.
Yeah.
Yeah, and children too. They
Yeah.
wear their masks. They have areas where they can just by themselves. They can relax and take it off for a little bit, just refresh and put it on again. And if and they we have different so like we do a lot of like timeout. We need like they tell us from a distance, like I need a break, I
Oh,
need to
wow.
breathe.
Oh, really?
And so they tell us what they need, and if they feel comfortable at school, I
That's
see
good.
that teachers too, that we feel comfortable now.
Qué bueno. Because that's it. That's what I was talking about earlier. Is we want the kids to be there. We don't want things to be shut down, but let's do it in a safe manner so that the kids can be
Mhm.
there. And I was just thinking, Liliana, there are so many kids that have started school, and this is all they know is wearing a face mask.
Sí.
There are babies that have been born within this last year, and they're born into the situation where 100 years from now, 50 years from now, this is like history, and they're part of history. So I'm always I can't wait until the day when we finally get it on. We all get we don't have to wear these masks anymore because I miss seeing people's faces.
Exacto.
People
Yeah, me too. I love their smiles, and you cannot tell if they're smiling or not with those masks. So yeah, hopefully sometime. I mean, at some day
Uh-huh.
we won't have to use them.
I cannot wait. I am looking forward to that. And
Oye, comadre, pero antes de seguirle, before we continue, we need to say thank you to our sponsors.
yes, bring them on. So, who are our sponsors for this show? I would love to see it. Share it.
All right. Vamos a dar gracias a todos los patrocinadores. Thank you so much for being part of RadioCrystalUSA.com for 5 years. Y estos son algunos solamente. Y el audio está súper fuerte, pero queremos agradecerle a Roma, Patrón Grill, Alma Latina, por supuesto, Noir Picture of the Day de Chris Piñón, San Miguel Benjo, en Pasadena, Galena Park. Estuvimos juntos, aprende inglés, en Delis Music, que nos hace las producciones de audio, Insure to Go, Awesome Made Service, Bamsa Global, sirviendo a la comunidad por más de 40 años, y por supuesto Crypto Studio Productions. Muchas gracias a todos. Óyeme.
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
Thank you so much.
We're like in kindergarten right now, having a great time.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited. Guess where? You know what? I'm not even at my house.
I know, comadre, ¿dónde estás? ¿Y quiénes son tus invitados de hoy? Cuéntame.
So I have two amazing people coming on today, two new super compadres that are going to be joining me today. One of them, I just want to say really quick, he's not going to come on until the end, but he and I go way back. We met when I was in high school. So
Ya llovió, comadre.
but I was in high school about like 2 years ago. Just kidding.
¿Hace cuántas quinceañeras?
Entonces, so he was like my mentor when I was in a camp.
Wow.
I was in high school, and then I bumped into him at a networking event, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do you know who I am? And so we met, and now we're connecting, and I can't wait to have him come on to share what he has going on in the community. And that quote I said earlier, to whom much is given, much is expected. He
Wow.
lives that.
Wow. So
Yes.
I'm so excited. And tell me about your other guest.
Oh my gosh, and my other guest, we are actually sitting in the studios of my new super compadre. His name is John Paul Segovia, and this is his place. This is where he has his artwork. This is where he does his art. This is where the magic happens. And so I can't wait to have him come on. So he's going to be
All
doing.
right. So let's see who your guest is. Vamos a ver.
All right. All right. So, and now I would like to introduce to you my new super compadre, John Paul Segovia, and welcome.
To your house. ¿Dónde anda Paul? ¿Dónde John Paul?
I can't find him. He was here a while ago. I don't know what happened. Oh,
Ándale, ¿ya se fue o qué?
let's move on. Da, 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 da. Wait a minute, there he is. Oh my God, he's right behind me. So welcome. How are you? So I am excited to be here with you today because you have this amazing space. And you know, earlier I shared this quote that I really love and I live by: to whom much is given, much is expected. You've been given by the grace of God, the universe, an amazing talent. So
wow, that's very nice. Thank you.
yes, so you've been giving it. So I want you to talk about that today. And I also want people to know who you are, where you're from, what your passion is, and how this passion has grown to what we're sitting in
Can you hear me?
today. Yes.
Okay.
Well, I think we have like 50 minutes, right? So I think, honestly, with everything that I've gone through, I want to put together a book eventually, right? To talk about where I've been in the past, up until 4 years ago, actually, right? Life kind of just plateaued for me. And then after I gave myself to God, devoted myself to God, then I started to notice that my life started to change completely, right? And for the better. So I have beautiful kids, very respectful kids, and now I'm focusing on teaching everything that I know to them, so that they can take over the photography business and website design, logo design, and eventually take over the gallery, right? So just maybe leaving behind a legacy after I leave, that they can leave to their children too. So.
What has been the biggest lesson that you have given or that you learned from, and that helped you formulate what you needed to give to your kids? To your three, how many kids do you have?
Well, I have 3 boys that live with me.
Okay.
They're all in high school. One just graduated. He's in college now.
Congratulations.
Thanks. And what was your question again?
So what was the biggest lesson that you like learned that you now turned around and said, okay, I want to make sure that my own 3 kids, have this and they learn it from me versus the way I learned it?
Well, what are we talking about? Spiritually, or are we talking about?
Just it could be spiritually, it could be, your goals, your dreams.
Well, the one thing that I'm learning that I want to help others understand is, so I quit my job during COVID in September of 2020 to do this full time, right? And so for anybody to quit, their dream job to start a company, you have to take that leap of faith, right? So for me, I had to really let go of all my fears and worries and trust that God was going to take care of everything to make this work, to make sure I don't fail, right? So if there's anything I can leave to my kids or to anybody who wants to listen is trust that God's always going to take care of you, right? There's too many analogies out there I could use to describe that, but if you really, really focus and understand that God's always going to be there to catch you, not let you fall, you will always succeed. But we're not raised to think that way. We're raised to, you got to go to school, you got to get a job, you got to, make a good paycheck and stuff like that. and that's okay, right? But that's just how we're programmed. But I don't think we're meant to be stuck behind a desk for 8 hours a day for 40 hours a week, right? I think we're meant to do more, right? And I see now that COVID has passed, we're starting to see all the fruits that came out of COVID, right? I see a lot of people starting their own businesses, and when they're forced to get laid off and do something to survive, something positive happens, right? So just look around and look at all the vehicles you see on the road with stickers on the back that say, Maria's Hair Salon, or some such and such plumbing services. All this came out during COVID, like
Or the Segovia van.
Segovia van
Delivery, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing that I really would love for everybody to wrap their head around. Is, I know it sounds cliche, and they say this all the time, but if you really put your mind to something, you can achieve anything. You can do anything you want. It's very cliche, right? But it's so true. It's so basic, right? So I encourage everyone to follow their dreams, whatever it is.
So along the way, when you were doing this, John, I know that I've heard other people that have gone through this, and sometimes they will say, well, in discovering this and doing this, sometimes I had to let go of certain people, certain friends, did you find yourself having to do that as you were building or rebuilding yourself and and putting your passion out there? Because that's what you're doing. You literally took your passion and made it real.
So one thing that I see almost on a daily basis is when you learn to close doors that are meant to be closed, new doors will open for you. But you have to close those doors to move forward. I almost spilled the beans of what my book is truly going to be about. But in life, we have to grow, and you're going to experience a lot of pain during that growth. But it's that pain that helps you grow to the next level, right? So 2020, a lot of people really, really were tested, but we came out stronger out of that. We know we're more resilient people as people, and we're capable of so much more than we thought we were capable of. And we don't have to be dependent on things that we were used to doing, habitually every week, right? So that's just all part of it. I think God's showing us that we're meant for much more than what we've been programmed to think,
Like the Matrix.
Well,
Kind of like a Matrix thing, right?
That's a little bit of what my book's going to be about.
Okay, like we literally got unplugged.
Exactly.
In a way.
That's exactly right.
And we're put in situations that we were not used to.
Yeah. So let's talk about all the things that were closed down that we're used to doing, right? Restaurants, movies, athletic events. If you look online, if you look at the Olympics, they're completely empty. Nobody's watching either. So what's really important to us, right? Spending time with your family, right? I think we were taught to think differently during that experience.
Yeah. You said family. I also want to say self. I thought that was super important because a lot of times I would, feel that I was surrounded by this static noise, that I didn't pay attention to what I needed, what I wanted. It seemed like COVID just kind of shut that down, and it made, a lot of us kind of sit in the conversations in our heads that we don't want to have, which is facing certain things, saying no to certain things, closing certain doors, and really paying attention. Did you feel some of that too, where you were like, well, yeah, I mean, you did. You said no to your dream job. That is a big leap of faith. Yeah. You said yeah, but in saying no, you said yes to you.
That's right. Yep. I gave up security.
Yes.
For a bigger dream.
Yeah.
Right. And I also have to blame my Bible study for that.
Okay.
Because they're actually teaching us, the congregation, on we're all supposed to be business owners
Okay.
and millionaires,
Okay.
right? So we're being reprogrammed through our Bible study, through the Bible, right? And so a lot of the people in our congregation have quit their jobs and they're starting their own companies, and they're succeeding in it.
Nice.
Right? So it's just a nice, you don't see churches doing this, right? Churches are mostly, they're more feel-good churches, right? To give you hope and inspiration. But nobody's ever going to tell you to quit your job and start your own business.
Yeah.
Well, that's what our church does.
Now, when in seeing this, do they use like I'm imagining you go and it's a Bible study, but do they also kind of give you like tips? Are there some people that are successful that say, hey, this is
No.
here, I'm going to give you some guidance? I'm thinking like you're going to a workshop.
No, this is more of a prophetic.
Okay.
Where they're saying, they're looking at me and they're like, John, what are you doing working for a Fortune 250 company making your money? You think that's good money, but you're capable of much more.
Yeah.
You know, you shouldn't be working there. You should quit your job and start your own company. And I'm looking at them like, I just joined you guys like, yeah, I'm trying to quit my job. I don't think so. But eventually, that's the way it worked out.
Yeah.
Right? But they also teach you to have faith.
Yeah.
Right? And know that God's always going to be there to support you. He's not going to let you fail. Right? So when you're constantly being fed motivation like that, then you start to think differently. Yeah. And now I'm going to succeed.
Yes.
So so when I'm as an artist and working in this business, it's not consistent, right? You got your peaks and valleys. You got good days, you got bad days. You got good weeks, you got bad days. There's weeks that you're super busy, and there's weeks where you're not doing anything. Right? But when you start to have that level of consistent faith, like I'm not have to worry about anything. Everything's going to take care of itself eventually, and I'm going to succeed. And when you start going on with that attitude, then you're filling your life with positivity, right? And that just helps you go up.
It's like what I'm hearing is you're giving the universe what you want.
That's a big one.
You put it out there. You're attracting. You say it. I just wrote a saying in Espanol. Dicho y hecho. Said and done.
You have to say it out loud for it to come true.
Yeah.
Right. If you think it, and it's not going to work. You have to really say, "Hey, I want to have my own art gallery. Yeah. I want to have my own business.
Dicho y hecho.
I am going to be successful. I will be successful. That's the key. Yeah. Is owning it, right, and speaking the truth, and it will come true. Yes.
Yes. So if you are listening right now, because there's so many ways to watch and listen to my show, La Super Comadre, on RadioCrystalUSA.com. You can go to www.RadioCrystalUSA.com and listen right now. We're on live. And it also repeats on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning and again at 10 o'clock at night. And then you can watch the show again on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, and you can go to Instagram and follow us there. So there's so many ways to get a chance to meet all the amazing people that I bring onto my platform. And as you know, everyone that crosses my path, leaves an imprint of some sort. And I will always, seek out people that have something amazing, whether it's a journey, whether it's a story, whether it's maybe a service, maybe a product that the community could learn from. And, I'm a teacher by day and I'm an educator for life. And one of the things that I love to do is share information, share journeys, because you don't know who's out there that might be touched by it and might need this message right now. I just want to say a couple of words. Words just come out of my fingers when I'm writing, listening to people. So I heard the word doors. I heard the word passion came to mind. I heard the word pain. I heard the word family. I heard the words dicho y hecho come to my mind. Along the way, I heard that along the way, there's some things that you need to just let go so you can open up those doors. And I almost think that so you can see them because they're there, but you don't see them until you clear some things out. So what would be the title of the book? What's stirring up in there?
That's good. Understanding faith, really understanding faith, right? Because a lot of people speak of it, right? You got to have faith. You got to have. What does that really
There's
mean?
songs about it. There's poetry about it.
There's so much. You see it. Faith is basically on every positive meme out there, on the internet. But what does it really mean? Faith is like giving up all conditions of worry, doubt, fear, right? Because those are all bad words, right? But people live daily worry, doubt, fear. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my bills this week, or I'm worrying that, well, am I going to get laid off, or fear, and fear is all over the TV. If you watch the news, by the way, we don't watch the news in our house. Yeah, it's a fear factor, right? They're promoting fear, shootings, deaths, killings. So when you have to be careful what you're feeding your mind daily, because what you feed your mind, that's what your life is going to be about, right? If you're feeding your mind with fear and worry and doubt by watching the news or hanging around people who talk like that, then you're going to fill your life up with those things.
So you're getting what you're getting in return what you're giving out.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. So how do you find the balance? Like I too, I don't even have cable. We have Netflix, we have Disney Channel, and that's, I haven't even given my kids their own phone. They have an iPad, but it's got a lot of parental stuff, because I don't want them to be pulled into places where they themselves stop being creative and stop loving themselves and start paying attention to a bunch of other crap that they don't have to pay attention to.
Right.
But how do you balance like a hurricane? How do you balance, like, I need to know the news for that? Do you?
So, you overheard me talking to my brother on the phone.
Yeah, I did. I thought you were building the DeLorean. That's why I was thinking about some 80s breakdance music.
So we're getting prepared for any possible thing that's going to like the ice storm that came through. We were totally prepared for that.
Yes.
I bought a generator for it, but when it came down to use it, it didn't start because the fuel line froze into the fuel line froze into it. So it was dead.
Okay.
Right. So we're talking about getting a new generator, but I didn't know a hurricane was coming, right? Because we don't watch the news, right? So so the way we balance it out is having faith, right? You have to surround yourself with positive people who think like you, right? Or think about faith all the time, having faith, so that when the time comes and things are about to happen, you're not already fed fear, worry, and doubt. You're more mentally prepared that, hey, God's going to take care of it.
Yeah.
We're going to be all right.
Yeah.
Right? It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
And it really isn't. It's
you just got to be ready.
Yeah. Just make sure you have food, stored. But the way the news likes to portray hurricanes is, it could be a category 1, and they're just going to show you, hurricane damage, from here to, remember what Alicia did to us back in 1983 or 81, whatever. So that's.
Wait, I don't remember. I was too young.
I don't either.
Whatever.
But if you're living in fear, then yes, of course, it's going to overwhelm you.
Yeah. Even with this whole COVID thing, I knew it was coming. I heard of it, but I took more of a stance of let's just prepare like a hurricane.
Yeah.
So before it happened, and the reason why I kind of knew a little bit about it is because I had some friends and family that sent me information from Italy and from Spain. And so they said, hey, just want to let you know this is going to come through. And I'm like, oh, okay. So every time I went grocery shopping, I got an extra cans of food like a hurricane. Every time I went to the grocery store, I would just throw an extra pair of whatever, just extras, just in case. And then as things started ramping up, I was like, oh, okay, but kept on with my life. And then I said, you know what? Let's go to the doctor. Let's go to the dentist. Let's go get our checkups. Let's go get our medications, whatever we need updated, just in case. Let's go do all these things. Boom, we did all that. I even called my parents. Just get prepared as if a hurricane's coming. Go to your doctors, get your stuff, filled out if you need some refills, because we may be affected, we may not. But it's better to be prepared. Pray for the best, but just be prepared just in case.
Right, of course.
That was it. So I rolled around, and my mom was like, "Qué bueno, mija, that I went to the doctor because other people are having issues with getting their meds or whatever." And all we could do was just pray on it and say that we're gonna just get through this, and that's it. And so I want to ask you this: what does faith feel like, and what did it feel like was it like a switch? Was it the sunlight? Was it a painting?
So when you learn to turn fear and worry off, it's amazing. When you can turn that off, and I can give you personal examples, right? So I'm getting ready for my art shows. You guys are all in.
Which, by the way, we gotta talk about the art show that's coming up and the beautiful art that's behind us. If you're listening, and he's gonna share and talk and describe it for the listening audience.
Right. So so I don't have a day-to-day paycheck anymore, right? I don't work for a Fortune 250 company. So I'm investing all my money in the gallery and supplies, and I'm also I have two people that are working for me pro bono because they have faith in what I'm doing, right? So as all this is going on, I'm doing projects, but I see my money going down because I'm not producing projects. I'm creating art. So anybody in that position would be like, "Oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? How's this going to happen?" Well, I learned to turn that switch off, right? And for anybody else, they would see the bank account go down to zero, and they'd be freaking out. Me, I'm just like, I've already been practicing this since 2018, where I was like, I'm not even going to worry about it. He's got me. He's not going to let me fail. So just continue painting and be in a good spirits, right? And I'm also imagining success, right? And then I get a phone call from somebody, and they've been trying to get a hold of me on the website. "Hey, I've been trying to get a hold of you. You're not answering my emails." And so they finally called me, and he's like, "I need for you to send me a catalog of all your artwork." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." So I sent it over to him, and he bought one of my most expensive pieces, right? And that just came out of the blue.
Yeah.
Just as soon as my bank account went down, he filled it back up again, right? So that's just a light testimony to how I live my life, right? It's like you just have to have faith, right? And I hope that somebody out there will pick up on this and learn to practice it, because it does work, right? I'm a proof of that.
You're living
and I'll have more testimonies next week or the next year, right? So that's why I'm like, I need to get a book together really, really quick, because basically my whole life is a testimony, right? And I can't wait to put that out.
We can't wait.
Oh, you want to talk about the art show real quick?
Let's go ahead and talk about the art show before we bring in my next super compadre. So now, you have to imagine too that there are people that are going to be listening to this, because the show repeats every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, only audio. So as you describe for the listening audience and the visual audience, keep in mind like the colors, what it looks like, where it came from, all that. Tell the story.
It's going to be awesome.
So what's going on this weekend? How can people connect with you and talk about some of your
Like to talk, converse. Well, why don't they show up to my show Saturday? I'll be. I'm having an art show here. I'm considering this one to be my first solo show. I had a solo show last weekend.
Yes.
At Mecca.
Yes, which I had a chance to stop by. Congratulations.
Thank you. So that was all the work that I did during COVID.
Okay.
And actually learned to paint during COVID, right? So that was an awesome experience. Right? But the work that I'm going to show this Saturday is behind me, and this hasn't been seen by anyone. So you guys are getting
a sneak peek.
Yeah, sneak peek of some of the artwork that I'm going to have up for exhibition, and we are going to have the master cellist.
Yes,
Rich Rodriguez is going to be playing for us a mini concert in my gallery for the first part of the show.
Nice.
I know it's going to be.
So what time should people get here?
It's from 6 to 10, right? So get here early. He'll be rocking out on his cello for the first 2 hours.
Nice. And where are you located so people can make plans to come out?
We are in the heart of East End at 3420 Rusk Street, 77003. And then you can add that on the link.
We will. We're going to put all the information so that you can come out this weekend. What day is it? Saturday?
Saturday. This Saturday.
August the
28th.
28th. So make plans, come on out and Rich Rodriguez is a past super compadre. He's been on, he's talked to my students, he's played for them. We've actually been practicing songs.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, at some point we're going to go on the road because I really miss singing. But he's an amazing cellist, and he's going to be here to kick it off. And I just can't wait. Having music, having art. I always said throughout the pandemic that only art is going to save us through the pandemic. Whether it was music, poetry, painting, sketching, all of the dancing, because to me, that is what makes the world go round.
Art has been being practiced since
the
caveman days.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's when the first art critic was invented too. Because some caveman
came
walked
by
and was like, that looks terrible.
so I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to want to follow you and connect with you. What is the best way, to connect with you, to follow you, to like you, to subscribe to you?
I'm very active on all social media channels on LinkedIn. I have 3 Instagrams you can follow. We can put those in the link.
Yeah, right. Put in the link.
But I'm very active on LinkedIn and Facebook daily. I'm always getting requests for photo shoots. I'm a photographer, by the way. So Christmas is right around the corner. If you want to take Christmas shots, you can come into my studio. And I have a wide gallery of graduation photo shoots and quinceañeras and weddings, and so yeah, for sure.
Do you go on site too?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Awesome. So they can come here or you can go there.
I'm booking right now for quinceañeras in January already.
Nice.
And graduation shoots. So
good.
If you want or are interested, contact me. You know what?
Let the train go by.
Okay.
You hear the choo-choo in the background.
Oh, he's being nice.
Oh, wait, no, he heard us.
Being nice.
We have some sound effects in the background. This is the amazing train that is going by. We are near downtown in the East End, so we're gonna.
They're delivering the toilet paper for the people who are going to go buy all the toilet paper next week for the hurricane.
I let people. I didn't take it all. But then again, there's 3 girls.
You bought all the toilet paper?
There's 3 women. It's 3 women. Boys are different than girls.
Hurricane's coming. Don't buy toilet paper or water.
What should you buy then? Some wine. I'm just kidding.
Buy beans and rice.
That's true. A bag of beans and a bag of rice.
That'll last you.
Yes.
You're good. Buy 3 bags.
3 bags.
And you should be all right.
And tortillas?
Work with that.
And tortillas? Bread? Not even? Yeah.
You won't have gas if there's a.
Oh, that's true. But you can wait. But how are you gonna make the tortillas and the beans if you don't have gas?
You can start a fire.
Like a campfire?
In a barbecue pit.
Oh. I guess I have to buy a barbecue pit. Because I have an electric stove. It's not gonna go well for me.
I have to get a generator.
What am I gonna hook it up to? Oh yeah, the stove, right?
They have those new gas generators.
I need to figure that out.
Propane.
Propane gas?
Mm-hmm. Propane and gas, and propane, gas, natural gas. It's a 3-whammy generator. It's pretty awesome.
The generator. We're talking about generator.
Yeah, it runs on propane, natural gas, and gasoline.
Really? I have one that's only gas. So I should probably start stocking up on gas.
Yes.
Okay, how did we get here? All right, so now we're just talk a little bit about okay, so the paintings that you had on display at Mecca, which is now housed at TBH, that was what you came up with during COVID, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When you paint, what is that like? What inspired you? What was it? Was it a song? Was it a moment? Was it an experience? Was it just too much?
Well, I'm going to quote one of my favorite artists, Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Basquiat,
And he says, who's to question why Miles Davis plays a certain note on his instrument, right? It just flows, right? So just go with the flow. Mm-hmm.
You heard it here. Just go with the flow. So I'm excited to be here to support, and hopefully, well, no, we will see you, because that's what you have to say it, right? You say it like you will see people.
Yeah, we'll see you
I'm not going to say hope.
soon.
We will see you this Saturday, August the 28th. Where? Here at the Art.
Houston Art Advisory at 3420 Rusk Street, 77003.
Yes, and if they want to buy something, they can, right?
Yeah, I mean, all the art here is for sale.
For sale. And if they want to commission you,
then they can speak to me directly.
awesome. So he's going to be here, so you have a chance to meet with him in person, ask him about the artwork, ask him about all his life, his journey, and he is here to share it with you.
We are going to have wine and drinks and music and beautiful art. What more do you want?
What more do you want? Cheers. Cheers. Cheers to this Saturday.
Cheers.
All right, so I would like to bring in another super compadre because I want for these two to meet. And the next super compadre that's going to come on, his name is Izzy Gomez. And Izzy Gomez, and his wife Marta, they have created an organization called Navidad en el Barrio. And Navidad en el Barrio, I believe, was started years ago. I remember it when I was a kid. Like literally. I didn't know it was his. So Izzy is, he was a former Houston Police Department officer, and he then created this organization. I met him when he was a camp counselor at Camp Pennytown when I was in high school, and he was one of the camp counselors. And then we lost touch, of course, he's an adult, I'm a kid. And then years later, which maybe around 2017, 18, was when I bumped into him, and I had a chance to learn about what this Navidad en el Barrio that I had heard about so much, and realized that was an organization that I had no idea that it was his. So in a little bit, we'll get a chance to meet him and know him, and he's going to share who he is, what his mission is with Navidad en el Barrio, and share it with you guys.
Applause button.
So welcome, Izzy and Marta. Can you hear me? Awesome. So
yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. So I want you to just share to the audience a little bit about you, a little bit of Marta, a little bit about you, and then share about Navidad en el Barrio, its mission, and what you have coming up this weekend.
Okay, well, I guess let me start by saying, John Paul, congratulations for giving up your life to God. It's awesome, and it's great to hear that about your success, and you will become more successful just putting your life in His hands. So congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Claudia and Liliana, thank you for having us. Even though we've been around 34 years, we started in 1987. I had a whole bunch of black hair back then. Ahora ya se me está despareciendo, but it's okay. We started out of the Second Ward. While I was stationed as a police officer at Ripley House Community Center. There was a police office there, and we were very fortunate to have a $5,000 sponsor by Rainbow Baking Company come in and just ask if anybody wanted to do a Christmas party. And I raised my hand, and the rest is history. But one thing we did say that we wanted every child to get at least 3 to 5 gifts each. So that year, 500 children, we spent $10 on each child, and everybody got 3 gifts that particular year, plus other goodies that we could to get from the community that they would donate. Move forward 34 years. COVID was 2020 was one of our hardest years simply because of the fundraising. But like John Paul says, you know, when you have God on your side, everything works. And we were so determined to make sure that our children got something for Christmas, simply because people were getting laid off. You know, we had. I mean, it was just it was sad watching TV. I had to turn it off because it was just getting too depressing. And our goal was to make sure our children got toys. So Walmart came in the door and donated a lot of toys to us, where we were able to help 1,200 children from 30 schools. And we did a drive-through, which we had never done in our 34 or 33 years in existence. And we had the gifts at a school, and the children came in a car. Everybody was masked up, and we gave them their toys. We had food from the food bank. We had fruit. We had just
Resources.
resource materials for our families. And when I say food bank, is uh, my wife Martha, about, I don't know, 8 years ago, 10 years, she thought that we should give them at least some rice and beans, you know, because we found out that a lot of our children go hungry, especially during the holidays. So, so the food bank came about because of Council Member Gallegos, who helped us reach out to them and allowed us to provide rice and beans to all our children. So you wanted to know a little bit about myself, and you know, this past 34 years, uh, even though yes, I was there at the beginning, there's no way this could still be in existence without the people of this community, and you know, everywhere that we've been so blessed. You know, even last year, you know, when we thought we weren't going to have Navidad for our children, and Diosito put somebody in our path, and there's our children, you know, getting gifts from their cars. And the other thing is our volunteers and our board. You know, last year uh, they made a commitment, even though it was dangerous times, and but they said, you know, we'll do it for the children. And it was just a humbling experience for myself to see so many people care about our community. Uh, I personally come from Laredo. I was raised in Laredo, Texas, born in East Chicago, Indiana, from immigrant parents. And my dad died when I was 2. And so I think, like my my life, my history, most of our board have lived that history, if not all of them. And they they really believe in what we do, and it's a grassroots organization. And I'm just, you know, extremely honored to be surrounded by so many angels in our community. And
Yes.
my wife can tell you about what's going on this weekend.
All right. Yes. So give us an update. You know what? Thank you so much. Earlier, I had opened up with a quote, to whom much is given, much is expected. And that's why I thought of you to, you know, and putting this together for today, because you guys have been, you have given so much, whether it's a talent, whether it's opportunity, and now to turn around and to harness your talent for these opportunities to give back to the community, whether it in whatever form or fashion that has been given to you to give. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for stepping into the arenas. Thank you for putting yourself out there. Thank you for taking that leap of faith. Thank you for continuing to move forward. Because not only do you inspire, you know, the people that are listening and have been part of you, but me, every person that comes across my path leaves a mark, leaves a lesson, leaves a story. And I thank you for doing the work that you've been doing. And I thank you too as well. So tell us a little bit about what's coming up this weekend.
And before she tells you this weekend, let me just say that, you know, in the 34 years when we first started, I was so afraid to be on a camera. You know, you know, I couldn't talk. I know you wouldn't believe that, but anyway. But no. And, you know, I found out that media, or people like you that take the time to put us on there, you know, lets so many other people, even though we've been around 34 years, there's a lot of people who have never heard of us. And by what you're doing and Liliana are doing, you know, it's just, I mean, advertisement is the most expensive thing to spend on TV or whatever, and what you're doing is just helping us spread the word, and hopefully we touch more angels that can, come and help us. Thank you.
That's what we're here for.
Salud.
Oh,
¿Dónde está la botella de agua, John? Okay, there you go. All right.
Well, thank you so much, and I'm glad that I'm glad to hear that you started off with that. To whom much is given, much is expected, because that's truly what I believe and what we believe. I believe that we've been given so much. I got here to the United States when I was a year old with my mom. It was just my mom and I, and we were undocumented, and went through everything that we went through, and later on she got married. Through the Amnesty Act, I was able to get my residency and my citizenship, and I was really proud of it. I was proud to vote. I was proud to get out there and exercise my right. And a lot has been given. A lot has been given to me. A lot has been given to our family. So it's definitely our responsibility to give back. And I'm glad we have this beautiful avenue to do it. We have some amazing people that we've met along the way, that some of them have left, some of them continue to be with us, and we've learned from each one of them. It's really amazing to see our board, which is a working board. They do it all. They clean, they drive trailers, they haul toys, they do inventory, whatever needs to be done. That's what we do. We get it done. And we can't do it without so many different hands, so many angels that are in the background that nobody ever knows about. So I want to thank all of those people that do all the work behind the scenes for so many children to have smiles on their faces when they may not have gotten Christmas toys, when they may not have gotten a scholarship, when their parents don't have jobs. So we appreciate all the community coming together. Thank you too much. So we wanted to talk about our big fundraiser that's coming up on Saturday also, August the 28th. It's our Taquitos and Chanclitas Gala, and it's our 11th annual gala. We're going to be at the Arabas Shrine Temple on Saturday, and we'll be there celebrating some community leaders. We're going to be giving the Vida Award this year to Councilmember Robert Gallegos. He's done, as you know, a lot in our community, and he's been a great leader. I've known Robert since 1996 when I was working at City Council, and I was very, very excited and happy to see that he was our new council member. So thank you to Councilmember Gallegos. He supported the organization for many years, even before becoming council member. So we appreciate everything that he's done, along with his amazing staff. And we're also honoring our Veteran of the Year, David Lee, and he's actually a Korean War veteran and also World War II veteran. So we are honoring him also this Saturday. But this is our biggest fundraiser of the year, and we're looking forward to seeing all our supporters, looking forward to seeing our volunteers, everybody that's with us throughout the years that has been with us, and also new faces. We have new faces that are coming in. Thank you to Councilmember Gallegos, and we appreciate that. But we do all this for the many programs that we host throughout the year. Our biggest program being the program that we host at the Georgia Brown Convention Center, which is for 2,000 children. And of course, because of COVID, last year we had to scale it down a little bit, and we did drive-through events. But as you can see in that picture, that little girl is showing you her brand new Navidad en el Barrio watch.
that's so cute.
That she receives. So they get a number of gifts. They get rice and beans. Thank you to the Houston Food Bank. They receive low-income resources for families that are low income, things like the VITA sites, the EITC information on Medicaid and the Children's Health Insurance Program. So there's a number of things that they also receive along with gifts and with food. We also have a Little Wishes program that we do, and the Little Wishes program is based on the essays that the children write. The essay is entitled, "If I Had Three Wishes, I Would Wish For." And some of these wishes are just a bag of Cheetos, bedspreads, a Bible, yes, um, mattresses. We had one year a child asked for a refrigerator because they were keeping all their food in an ice chest, and it would go bad. So all of these little wishes are compiled in a spreadsheet, and we have angels throughout the community that are able to fulfill these little wishes and grant these wishes to our children.
What's unbelievable is when you see these essays, normally it's 2,000 essays, and I would say three-quarters of them, of course, won the Nintendos and the fancy Xboxes, etc. What's amazing is for a child to sit there and write an essay about their three wishes and to say, I want food for my refrigerator, I want new boots for my dad for work, little things like that they don't even ask for themselves. And those are the ones we grant.
Yeah. The thought of a child to put themselves aside and ask for something for their family. I mean, that I was thinking about that. If you ever received those kind of requests where it's not just me, it's about, I want something for my mom, my dad, my grandma, for the whole. So I can imagine what that's like to be in that room to read that.
Normally, I mean, when we all sit down and read them, we have tissues because the older I get, the more I cry. And wow, it's unbelievable just sitting there and reading these essays. And it's just, I mean, that's why we're still around, is because, we get touched by so many of these children. And what's the best, well, one of the best feelings for me is when we're out there doing an event and somebody walks up to me and says, hey, I was one of those children you helped, and now they're volunteering for us. And that, that keeps me around, coming around, back and back. Yes, amen. Amen to that. The other thing is, while you're seeing the pictures, and I'm going to tell you real quick what we do, other things, but real quick, in the pictures, you see a lot of police officers.
Yes.
And from day one, part of the dream was to have police officers in uniform pass out the toys, simply because, when a police officer engages a domestic dispute or something, and police officers has to maybe arrest one of the parents, that's what they remember. They don't remember they helped the other one. So by creating police officers in uniform passing out toys, our dream is to put that positive contact with our children. And you can see the bags, and all every circle of bags is a school, and there's our police officers. And but in a nutshell, I know I don't know about time, but not only do we do that, the big Christmas program, and we have it at the George R. Brown Convention Center simply because it's sponsored. We would never spend that amount of money in a venue. We would have it on a football field if we have to, but our office is our home. Our warehouse is one of our board members' yard, puts a container out there, and that's our warehouse. We don't spend money on that.
It used to be a cantina.
We used to have, one of our friends bought a bar, and it was a real estate investment, and he says, look, you can use it as a warehouse. So we had our toys there and all that good stuff. But other events that we do real quick is we do a party on Christmas Day for emergency shelter for abused and neglected children. We do a party for the children of inmates at Harris County Jail, where the sheriff selects inmates that are trying to better themselves. Then they give us their names. We get the toys. We go to the jail. We give them to the fathers and mothers, and they give their toys to their children for 2 hours instead of a normal visitation from a window, where they can't touch each other. The sheriff allows them to sit at a table, let them have pizza with their kids, pass out the toys. And even though it's not a big program, that is a super impactful event that we do. We do a party for our senior citizens. And 2019, before COVID, we did our fashion show, where we had 5 senior citizens and 5 children, special needs children, become our models.
Okay.
And then we had the police officers and elected officials be their escorts, and they went down the red carpet and became our models. And lastly, we have a scholarship that we do, but we give it to an 8th grader going into the 9th grade, and we invest the money, and every year thereafter we expect them to volunteer, learn how to volunteer, and when they graduate, we give them their $2,500 scholarship.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, Izzy and Marta. This has been an amazing gift for you to come on and share and about what's going on with Navidad en el Barrio, what's coming on this weekend, and also, for those that, there's a lot of amazing things going on this weekend. So in the event that people can't come out, to your event, there's so many ways that you just, talked about to become involved, which is going to the George R. Brown, participating as a volunteer. So I would love to invite you on the comments, and we will too, to put all your information so that people can connect with you on how to donate, how to volunteer, what they can do to be part of something like this with you, Navidad en el Barrio. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing. And I'm so glad that's crossed a long time ago. So here we are.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, and hope to see you soon in person.
Yes. Much
And
love.
God willing, John Paul will come to see you at your studio.
John Paul, your work is amazing. It really is. Beautiful.
And I see something in the future.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Amen.
Yes.
Adelante a ustedes. Y
Gracias.
Igualmente, gracias.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're now towards the end of the show. We only have a couple of minutes left, and I just wanted just to end it with what are your parting words for anyone that's listening that might need to make that leap of faith, that they know that they're around the corner to seeing something that they know that they need to do. What words do you have for them?
So the words that I would have for them is to surround yourself with positive people, right? And if you find yourself hanging around with negative people who are always talking, gossiping, or always complaining, and not doing anything positive to better their lives, I would encourage you to separate yourself from them, and then feed your spirit, right? Join a local Bible study, or go to a church, right? Or you can join our church, which is the Son and Daughters of the King. We're an awesome group. But what I understood lately was I grew up in the church, but I never really benefited from it because they spoke Spanish. I didn't speak Spanish, right? But I did pick up, of course, what's important in life and the teachings that they taught us along the way. But now I understand why people go to church. It's because life is filled with negativity and worry. All of this is poison for your mind, body, and soul. So what you want to do is you want to attend church regularly. You kind of decompress from all the negative that you're surrounded by anyway, right? So when you do that on a regular basis, you'll start to notice a change in your life, right? And then you start to think like the way I did, where it's constant positivity, and then worry, fears, and doubts just all wash away, and then now you're living in total blessings, right? Yeah. There's blessings right around the corner every day.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much. It's been an honor to have you on, and I'm excited to continue to see your growth in the art world and all the things that you're putting out there, that they continue to manifest. And I'm excited to have had you as my official Super Compadre on the Super Comadre Claudia on RadioCrystalUSA.com. So it's been amazing, you guys. I've been blessed over and over so many times, so many words that came out from this experience today. I heard, to follow your passion. I heard that sometimes there's pain when you're trying to get through things and get to where you need to be. Family is important. Make sure that what you say, what you want, you put it out there, you say it, so it's already out there and you already see it. Health, I thought about the word health too. you know, and taking this approach that it affects your health, you know, inside, like down to the DNA of what your cells are made of. And something that came up to me was vision board. I think I need to work on my vision board. So for those of you that are listening, thank you so much for joining today and getting to know my two new amazing super compadres, which is John Paul Segovia and Izzy Israel Gomez and his wife Marta with Navidad en el Barrio. So, super comadre Liliana, ¿dónde estás para cerrar aquí el show?
Getting to know more about your special guests. I'm so happy to have you, comadre, on our RadioCrystalUSA.com because you make this radio bloom like a flower, like just like the flower you have on your head. Sí, no, it's 5 years on air, mucho trabajo,
Sí.
mucho esfuerzo, mucha energía. We're so happy that we have a lot of people following us and a lot of sponsors also being part of Radio Crystal USA. And I thank you and thank all your guests for being part of it. And we would love to have all of them together at once to just hug them. Pero pues no se puede todavía.
We could do the going
We could do
thing.
Yeah. I'm going to bring Izzy and Martha Gomez.
We're gonna do a quick little dance wave.
Yeah, ahí estamos todos.
Well, cheers, and we're gonna do a
Gracias.
little toot, toot, toot.
Yo me la acabé.
Salud.
Salud. All right.
Thank you.
Nos
And,
vemos. Bye-bye.
Nos vemos. And always remember, road rage, it just always say, God loves you and I'm trying.
That's right. That is right.
That's good.
Amen.
Amen. So we're gonna take a quick picture, Izzy.
I already took it.
Oh, you
Oh,
not even posting.
Otra.
I
Otra.
didn't even-
Another one. Ahora, a ver. Post. Ahí está.
Okay.
I'm sticking my belly in. Adiós.
Hasta luego.
you.
Bye bye.
Este fue el show de la super comadre Claudia Macías. Recuerda que se repite los viernes, sábados y domingos a las 10 de la mañana y a las 10 de la noche. El show de la super comadre Claudia Macías con muchos invitados especiales. No se lo vayan a perder. Las repeticiones y los martes se graba a las 7. Hasta luego. Bye, comadre.
No, adiós.
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 10,